Hello, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Is Zach Rector's crazy $800 XRP price prediction accurate? Well, definitely would like to give my opinion on this. I did recently see it come up in my feed, so I thought I'd give it a watch. Whenever I do see a price prediction, I do like to watch it first before I give any kind of opinion. I don't just kind of roll my eyes and just look away. I actually like to see if they've got any grounds for the reason as to why they're giving this kind of prediction, like if they've got any evidence or theories that can back up the price. And that's not just with XRP, that's with any kind of crypto. So, you know, I'm not someone who's just like anti-price predictions or anything like that. I just like to see what's your reasoning for giving this type of price prediction. So for anyone who doesn't know, Zach Rector is a YouTuber. He's very bullish on XRP. I do believe he has said in the past that XRP can be pegged or backed by gold. I personally don't believe that. If you've seen any of my videos on my channel, you will know that. But I'm not going to get into that right now, because at the end of the day, that's not what this video is about. That's not the matter at hand. So we'll stick to what this video is about, and that's the price prediction. Okay, so before I do start, what I will say is this actually isn't Zach's personal price prediction. He actually saw this tweet on Twitter, and he decided to put it up on his channel, and he's basically done a reaction to the price prediction. So, okay, the first thing I'll say is it's someone basically saying that when the lawsuit ended and, you know, Ripple can kind of finally use XRP and it has the legal clarity, etc., that XRP will be $800. Now, the first thing that I will just say, just generally speaking, whenever I hear someone just say, okay, it's going to be $800 or like whatever, like if they say it's going to be $500, $200, where do you get that figure from? Like, what are you basing that on? Like, I understand you're saying, okay, that Ripple have won the lawsuit and, you know, you're saying that XRP can now be utilized, but why $800? Okay. So that's my first bit of pushback here. Like, where do you get that kind of figure from? Like, what are you actually basing it on? And that's my thing with price predictions. I'm not against them, but whenever people are trying to give you like a set figure, I always feel like a bit weary about that kind of thing, because who can really give you a set figure of where XRP is going to go to, or any crypto? Because look, if crypto was really that simple, we would all be able to make so much money if we all just knew the kind of price point it was going to go to. So whenever I hear a price and they've not really said anything to really back this up. Yes, okay, they've said the lawsuit will be over and Ripple will be able to use XRP, but what does that necessarily mean? We still don't know what that's going to make XRP pump to once the lawsuit's over, because we don't even know if the lawsuit's going to be positive. Like, what if Ripple lose and XRP is deemed a security? Well, that's going to be negative, right? We're all hopeful that this is going to go the way we want it to, and that's a victory for Ripple, or at least legal clarity for XRP at the very least. But what if it doesn't, right? I think that would actually have a negative impact on XRP. So that's my first bit of pushback in regards to this. Where does the number come from? Like, why not $900? Why not $500? You know, I don't really see anything to give any kind of grounds to give that kind of figure. Now, one thing that Zach was talking about in regards to this as well is that he was saying that he thinks that if you see like a $800 XRP or like a $10,000 XRP, you're talking about hyperinflation, which I do think is a good point, because that's the kind of thing that I would probably say I agree with. I think if XRP is going to be $10,000, I think it's most likely going to be in a hyperinflation scenario. And the issue with this is, okay, let's say some said, yes, XRP is going to go to $10,000. And XRP did go to $10,000, but it's due to hyperinflation. Well, it actually doesn't really matter in that scenario, because, okay, yes, you can say XRP did hit $10,000, but if we're in a hyperinflation environment, the value of that XRP is still going to be the equivalent of it being, let's just say, $100 or $10, for example. So yes, it will have definitely gained in value, but hyperinflation is basically when obviously the value of other things go up in line with basically like money printing, right? So when the dollar keeps getting printed into the market, well, then they have to inflate the market as well to make this coincide with the printing of the dollars. So basically your dollar is losing value. So just a quick example. If let's just say bread at the moment was, let's just say $1, just for argument's sake. In a hyperinflation environment, bread could cost $100. Do you see what I'm saying? So while XRP might be worth $10,000, well, bread's now cost like $100. And so that $10,000, it's not the multi-million value that you would have been thinking of in the current climate, right? It's now worth a lot less because, your shopping, your weekly shop now might come to like $1,000 in general, right? To buy even like, a really small basic car, that might now cost $100,000 just to buy, a really basic bad car. Buying houses might go into like the millions. You might not be able to get a house anymore for like under $900,000. And so, yes, the XRP is now $10,000, but the value has really kind of not been as impactful as you would have thought because of the hyperinflation, right? So that's where I will say in regards to this, like, if it got into the $10,000 range because of hyperinflation, well, does it really matter in that sense? Not really, so that's where, is it going to hit $10,000 in the current climate? I personally don't think so. I will never rule it out, but I don't personally think so. But yeah, in regards to in a hyperinflation environment, okay, well, if it does, okay, cool, but yeah, it doesn't really matter at that point anyway. He did also mention, just in regards to, there was a time where his parents bought a house for like, $50,000, and obviously now he's spending that like on his yearly rent, to just show like how inflation works, right? How at one point in time, the money that he's spending on certain things, in their time, it would have brought a lot more, right? A house for them for $40,000, $50,000. You're not getting that in this current time. You're not buying a house for that cheap. If it is, it's going to be a very run down house, and I'd assume it's going to be one that you need to renovate, right? Which again is a good point, but again, we're talking about inflation. Yeah, we're just talking about how things change over time. So while you can say, well, yes, you would have got a house for $40,000, $50,000 back then, you also got to think of the point that, well, your salary will also be a lot more, right? So it's not like you're living on the same salary as they were back then. Your salary has also risen as well to accommodate that. Now, I will admit that it hasn't risen in line with it perfectly. I do think with how much inflation has risen, it takes a lot longer to clear a mortgage now, right? Like a mortgage back in the day, you could clear a mortgage in like 10, 12 years, maybe 15 years. Generally now you're looking at 25 to 30 years. I think they're actually looking at introducing lifetime mortgages at this point and 40-year mortgages. So you can clearly see that it's not necessarily rising in line, but again, it is still doing it in somewhat proportion, right? So it's not completely off. So yes, I do agree that things are clearly changing, and what you could buy before is different now, which I suppose you can use as a point as to why XRP could go up. But I do also think that things have risen in line with that, maybe not perfectly, but your salary and things like that has gone up as well. Okay, and then just to kind of tie it up, the next thing he was just talking about is what XRP can do in terms of the Nostro-Vostro situation, which is a $30 trillion problem, as they say, tied up in Nostro-Vostro accounts. Well, I've got no argument here. I completely agree. XRP can solve that problem. But I think the thing with that is as well is adoption, right? And I think the thing is with adoption is it can be a slow process. And although as amazing as XRP is, I don't know whether it will be like this flick of a switch moment where everybody just adjusts to XRP immediately. I think it might be a thing where, again, over time it happens, because even if you look at XRP now, right, they've got a lot of partnerships that we're seeing, and they're happening over time. It's not like you just say, oh, we've just got all these banks and have all just agreed to now use XRP. You see over time new partnerships coming in. It's like a process, right? So I think the thing with this is that, unfortunately, I don't really believe in the conspiracy that everybody's just going to instantly start using XRP on one day. I just don't think that, because it kind of has already been negated, right? Because, well, there's already banks currently using XRP, so that couldn't really work. So you can clearly see right now, if you just look over time on like Ripple's Twitter or on their website when they keep showing you like, hey, we've got this new partnership, we've got this new bank working with us, etc., etc. Well, it's clearly not a thing where just one day everybody starts using it, because we're seeing the process before our very eyes in real time. We're seeing the partnerships come on like a regular basis. It's over a process of like months, days, etc., years. It's not just a thing of there's been an announcement and now suddenly everybody's just using XRP. So, regards to the $30 trillion problem, yeah, I completely understand what he's saying there. I do agree. I actually do agree in that sense. But whether all these banks are going to use XRP or how long it takes, I would say is the better question. Because yeah, maybe, eventually in time, all banks will be using XRP, but how long will that take? Will that take 5 years? Will that take 10 years? Will it take 15 years for all the banks to be using it? Who knows, right? And so I think a lot of the investors in XRP, they're kind of looking for the instant gratification where like next year everything's going to just take off and XRP is booming. And I think this is again where it comes down to it may not be as quick as people think. It may be a bit more of a timely process. So overall, in regards to the theory, $800, I mean, I'm not going to rule it out, but again, like, where did that even come from? Like, where's that number come from? What made you say that number? And how long are we saying? I mean, he said once the lawsuit's over. So if we're talking like within this year, I'll just say right now, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think $800 is really likely this year. But, if we're talking over the span of like 5 to 10 years, then yeah, who knows? And again, what's the current economic climate going to look like with that? Is it going to be hyperinflation? And if that's the case, does it really matter if it reaches $800 to $10,000 plus? Does that really matter at that point? So there are other factors to consider. But yes, if we're talking about this year, do I think $800 is likely? No, I don't. Personally, I don't. But yeah, I think Zach did make some good points. I will give him props on here because, he did clearly say at this time that what will XRP get to? He said he doesn't know. So I can't knock him there. It doesn't seem like he's clawing just onto any kind of price predictions or anything like that personally. So fair enough to him. And I do think he raised some good points. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with this price prediction? Do you think it's possible? Or do you not agree? You got any reasons as to why you would agree or not agree? Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'd be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.